Hey everybody, we've got one more request to go. We've done get one, get by genre, post, delete. Now it's up to update. So we got to build this put request. If we recall, put requests, they need more than just an ID or an object. They need both. They need to know, one, what do I need to update? How do I find that one item I'm looking to update? And two, what do I update it with? So just like delete, there's a few different ways we could do this since we're dealing with just a basic array. We're going to do a little mix of a couple of things, hopefully you find interesting. But let's build the route here. So movie router dot put. Now this will be to the same endpoint for the delete, because we need to be able to specify which movie do we want deleted, the one with this ID. And then we'll get the request and response per normal. Okay, first let's pull the movie ID out like we did last time just to keep track of it, rec.params.movieid. And let's grab the index of the movie that we need to update. So const movie index, same as above, movies.findIndex. Okay. Now this last piece may use a method that you've never heard of before, but we're going to use something called object.assign. It's a JavaScript method that takes two objects and merges them together. The first object is the out-of-date object, so to speak, and the second argument is a new object, saying what do I want to merge in. So let's look at that, because we need an updated movie object. All right, so now that we know the index of the movie, we can use object.assign to update that movie and send it back. So what we'll do is we'll say const updated movie equals object.assign. Now the first argument needs to be the object that's out of place. So we'll say grab the object that's at the index of our movie index of our array of movies. So right, this is our whole array. This is the index number of the one we found. So this will be the object of that movie at that specific index number up here. The second argument is the object that we would like to update this movie with. Now it's been a couple lessons since we went over this in video, but if you recall, if the user is going to send us an object, they're going to do so through the request body. So here we'll see rec.body. So merge this object into this one. So the way that object assign works, let's say, this is the title Die Hard, and all this has is a new title in it. It'll update the title of the old movie, but it will leave the ID and the genre alone as it used to be. So this is great. It's only going to update the pieces that we're asking it to. Then we'll res.send back the updated movie. All right, let's go practice this, then we'll talk it over one more time. So I'll do a get request to get an up-to-date ID number. Let's take Star Wars 4. We'll change this to a put request. I've added the ID to the end, and now we need to give it a raw JSON body, and we're going to give it a new title. And we're going to say Star Wars 100. All right, so if this all works as planned, we should still get back a genre and the same ID, but the title swapped. So let's send this. And there we are, Star Wars 100, genre fantasy, and it's same ID as before. And we can prove that this was changed in place because if I go back and do a get request to all my movies, there is the old Star Wars, but with the new title. All right, so how exactly did that happen isn't as important. It's more of the logic of what was necessary to make this work. We needed the parameter. We needed the request body. If I wanted to make this easier to read, I would maybe even pull out the updates and say const, update object is the request body. So this reads a little bit clearer. So we're grabbing the ID of the movie we need to update. We're grabbing the updates that the user sent us. So this is both the stuff the user sent us. We're then grabbing the index number of where the movie currently exists in our array. And we're creating an updated movie object. We're saying assign to that object in the movies array, the one that's at the index number of the one we're trying to update, merge the update object into it. Now I'm storing it here so I can send it. But as you can see, object.assign changed it in place. So that original array, that movie in there, was updated. Great. If there's another way you can think of doing this with put request, go for it. There are different ways you can do this. You can create a new array with a map or just use splice again. Just looking to see some other options here. But yeah, here is all the routes. Here are all the main routes, kind of learning the fundamentals of Express servers. We got our endpoint handling all of the CRUD operations. All right, so with this, you should be able to implement this into assignments. You definitely, again, I know I keep reiterating on this, but give yourself practice. That's how it gets easier. And when you're ready, let's move forward.